I know you've been struggling to talk to women. It's like you want to go talk to her, but you don't really know what to say. You never really know what to say. Don't worry. Today, I'm gonna help you never run out of things to say when you're talking to a girl. I'm about to break down everything I know that has allowed me to go from a shy guy who didn't know what to say to a guy who can make a connection with every girl he talks to. If that's something you're interested in learning, well, this is the video for you. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Wait. The first problem you're having is you don't know what to say, and that's because you don't know what you want. And because you don't know what you want, you don't know what you want to say. So I'm gonna break that down for you. Most of the guys that reach out to me, they always ask me what do they say to a certain Instagram post or story post, or they want to text a girl and they don't know what to say. And I can't tell you what to say because I don't know what you want. I know when I want to text a girl, I always have something I want to say. I always have a goal in mind. So that's going to be your first problem. You have to have a goal in mind. You have to think before you say something. I've also had people say something to her Instagram story without thinking about what they wanted their end goal to be. So you have to know what you want, whether that's to get her number or whether that's to get to know her actually. That's majority of your problem. Once I learned what I wanted, it became a lot easier to talk to girls because I always knew what my end goal was. And just to make it super easy for y'all, I can tell y'all what I always want. I always want to get to know the girl I'm talking to, or just person in general, better. I want to actually get to know them. I actually want to understand them. Me wanting to understand them allows me to have conversations and ask questions effortlessly. Now we'll get to that a little bit later in the video, but the first thing I need you to start doing is I need you to start thinking before you speak. I need you to start thinking about what you want and what you want to say because of that. So if you want to get her number, now you know you want to get her number. So now what do you want to say? How do you want to say it? There's no right way to say it, my guy. That's another tip later in the video, but know what you want. I can't tell you what to say because I don't know what you want. You have to start thinking about what do I want out of this encounter. So once you thought about what you wanted, now I want to go over social cues. A big problem that socially awkward people deal with is the fact that they don't know social cues. They can't pick up on social cues. This leads them to endless awkward encounters and endless weird conversations and awkward silences, and that's because you didn't pick up on the social cue at the beginning of the conversation or the interaction. So how do we fix this? Well, we have to pay attention to nonverbal and verbal communication signals. What's a nonverbal and verbal communication signal? I'm glad you asked. So over 90% of communication is body language and tone. Those are your nonverbal communications. You see how I'm talking with my hands and how I'm emphasizing certain words and dragging out certain words and saying them in different tones based on the importance, the cadence of the way I'm speaking. These are all nonverbals, but these are all ways that you can communicate. This allows you to understand, it engages you more, makes you feel more. Now that you know to pay attention to these things, these are the two things that I pay attention to when I'm talking to somebody. Are they receptive? And are they reciprocating? What is receptive? Are they open to the idea of me talking to them? When I go introduce myself, when I say, excuse me, hey, or excuse me, how you doing? Excuse me, what's your name? I'm paying attention to how they respond. I always go over there with a smile. Are they reciprocating? Are they giving me the same energy back? So if I smile, are they smiling back? If they're not smiling back, do they look interested? If I'm talking to them, did they turn their body? Did they just turn their head? Did they look at me? Did they answer without looking at me? Are they looking at their phone when they talk to me? Like, these are cues. These are signs that people will show you that they either want to talk or they don't want to talk. A big problem with guys having awkward conversation is you put yourself in these awkward conversations, you start to force them. So now you know what you want, but now you want to go talk to a girl and she's not receptive to you talking to her. Leave that girl alone. See, the thing about conversations is you can't force them. The ones that flow, they flow naturally. You've had conversation with your friends, you've had conversations with your family members that it wasn't forced. I mean, some of them probably were forced because you may not have want to talk to them. And just because you may not have want to talk to them, there's been a person who you may try to talk to, then they may not want to talk to you. Why? Social battery could be low, could be having a bad day, could be listening to music, could not just want to talk to you at all. They could be socially awkward, but it ain't necessarily you. So don't let that affect your confidence when talking to people. Just because that happens, that doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation. You just haven't picked up on these communication signals, the nonverbal and the verbal cues that will allow you to know, oh, this person wants to talk, oh, this person doesn't want to talk. And like I said, this isn't a personal thing, this isn't a personal issue. It could have something to do with you, but more times than not, it doesn't. More times than not, I don't want to talk to people. I'm cool off talking to people. I only want to talk to people if I'm interested in talking to them, but for the most part, I never really want to talk to people. And it has nothing to do with them. Another reason that you may feel like you can't have a conversation and you don't know what to say is because you're trying to say the right thing. And there is no right thing to say. As long as you know what you want to say, then say what you want to say. You feel me? Say it in a way that it can come out comfortably. It can come out confidently. Come out with some conviction. You feel me? Don't say it in a way that you think it should be said. Say it how you want to say it. Because if you say it in a way that you think it wants to be said, it won't come off confidently. And remember, the nonverbal cues, the tone, and the body language, it won't even look right or sound right coming out of your voice, because conviction is associated with confidence. So if you don't say something with conviction, it means that you sound unsure. Conviction is just saying something, you're sure about what you're saying it with some type of power, with some type of chest behind it. You feel me? So say what you want to say, how you want to say it, so that it can come off with some conviction. And that's the confidence that people are talking about when they say when you approach a girl, you gotta have confidence. You know what you came over there for. Say it. Say what you came over there for.
Before we continue this video, if you're interested in improving your confidence, improving your conversation skills, meaning you're improving your flirting, your mouthpiece, and your ability to have deep conversations, if you want to improve on getting more girls and the ability to understand what women actually want, make sure you check out the first link in the description and check out all my available resources that I have for y'all. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Now, the right thing to do when having a conversation is to get the person to flow the conversation. Now, the question may be, well, how do I get the person to flow the conversation? By questions. Ask them questions, and don't ask them a bunch of different questions. Ask them a question about a specific topic and then get them to go deeper on that topic. People who watch me are familiar with Taekwondo. This is the concept: go deep, not wide. You do not go deep by asking deep questions. You go deep by getting them to give you deep answers. How do you get them to give you deep answers? You just have to be a little more curious about the answer that they gave you. We reacted to a Shimon Davis video, and the thing that he said in that video was ask why. Asking the question why gives the person the permission to explain why, to elaborate on why they said what they said. Now, you don't have to say why after every question you ask. There's different ways that you can say why. Why is this your favorite movie? Does this movie resemble something? Did you watch this movie when you were younger? You're asking why without actually asking why, but you're definitely asking why and getting them to go deeper on a topic without asking a deep question. Asking a deep question may make them feel uncomfortable, especially if they aren't comfortable with you yet. But getting them to go deep on a certain topic allows them to get comfortable when talking to you, which allows that flow to come in. A lot of y'all may ask me, well, what's a good question? Any question is a good question. Just getting them to elaborate on the answer they gave you is what makes the question a good question. The follow-up questions is what make the questions a good question. Now, before I give you this next tip, if I've helped you at all, make sure to hit the like video and subscribe. We posting every other day tips that'll help you get better with talking to women, get comfortable with women, building your confidence and shit like that. Now, the one thing I learned about having a conversation is you'll always know the right thing to say when you listen. That's the whole point of getting them to talk and asking them questions. How do I know how to treat a girl the right way and make her want to talk to me and make her obsessed and make her attracted? Well, I asked her questions like, what is her love language, or what are some things that she likes? And I was attentive, which I talked about in my last video, and I used them to my advantage. I know that her love language is words of affirmation, so I may reassure her of our conversation, right? I know that I can get a person to elaborate on questions and allowing us to have a deep conversation, and I won't take the credit for the deep conversation. I will give them full credit for being able to elaborate and have a deep conversation with substance, because I'll hit them with, most pretty girls, they're just a pretty face. They don't have a personality, they don't have a conversation, but I really enjoy talking to you because you both. I just reaffirmed her with words, and I compliment her on her looks, because who doesn't like a compliment? Even though niggas will say don't compliment a girl, I compliment my woman. I compliment my girl all the time, our girlfriend. I'm loyal, but you compliment her. You compliment her on, beyond her looks, you compliment her on her ability to articulate and to have a conversation with substance while being pretty. That makes the compliment even better, because now she knows that you think that she's pretty, and now she knows that you like her beyond just her looks. It takes away from her looks. But I said all that to say, when you listen to somebody, they'll give you information, and information gives you interest. It gives you her interest, and once y'all have the same interest, that's a point where y'all can make a connection and can make a bond. That connection and that bond is what creates the attraction, the obsession. That's what makes a girl like you. Yes, she can like your looks, but the connection connection and the bond is what makes her attached to you for real. So when I'm talking to a girl, that's always my goal, to get to know them so I can find the common interest so that I can make a genuine connection and build that real attraction, right? So if you're interested in learning how to build true connection, watch this video I dropped. It's going to give you the secrets on how I'm able to build connections with girls.